Tonight, a summer scorcher. At least 50 million Americans are under heat alerts as the hottest weather of the season spreads across the eastern half of the U.S., with dozens of record highs broken or tied. The potentially deadly triple-digit heat moving fast across a major portion of the country. Plus, it is one of the largest operations in the occupied West Bank in months. The on-the-ground raids in Jenin, the Hamas militants killed and Palestinian casualties in the process as the conflict grows. And
there's a lot of hammers and cranes and construction. We haven't seen this in, 50 years.
If lead's going to kill you in Anaconda, it's going to kill you in Butte.
Back from the brink. It used to be one of the most polluted places in America. After a decades-long cleanup, the future appears bright for this Montana town. But residents of a neighboring community say the government is leaving them behind. Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie Ramos, in for Linsey Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and much more, including news on the FBI's investigation into the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, new images of the shooter's weapon, and what, if any, motivation he may have had in the attack. Plus, the crackdown on crime tourism, the arrests made for allegedly organizing a car rental business catering to foreign thieves, offering high-end cars and directing them where to steal. And athletes around the world are now competing for gold in the Paralympic Games. The athletes and their incredible feats when we take a look at the games by the numbers. But we begin with the extreme weather ahead of the Labor Day weekend. Severe storms from the Midwest to the Northeast and the dangerous heat. 55 million already on alert. At this hour, the heat index still soaring from St. Louis to New York. Feels like temperatures soaring, topping 103. Washington, D.C., the same, 103. Philadelphia, 99. New York City, 95. The heat turbocharging storms. Dramatic lightning storm right there over Chicago. A time-lapse video showing one of the several rounds of storms. A cyclist in Milwaukee heading straight for a tree as it falls, unable to stop. You see the video there. And also right here in New York City, the U.S. Open, implementing its extreme weather policy. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg has the forecast in just a moment, but we begin with ABC's Eva Pilgrim right here in New York.
Tonight, more than 250,000 still without power in Michigan after storms took out trees and power lines. Near Detroit, firefighters tackling a boat fire on Lake St. Clair amid high winds and steep waves. Thankfully, no one was hurt. A doorbell camera catching this cyclist crashing right into a massive tree in Milwaukee. Those storms now headed east, fueled by extreme heat, baking more than 50 million Americans from New York to Philly to D.C., where the temperature hit 100 degrees today.
As soon as we come out into the sunshine, it's like, it's beating serious.
Scores of schools across the region letting students out early.
I had to rearrange my work schedule to make sure that we could get here on time.
Outside New York City, Allie Guerrero scrambling to pick up her stepson Nicholas at Campbell Elementary School in Metuchen, New Jersey.
How did it feel in there?
Like I was getting cooked.
Anyone working outside at risk, like construction worker Nate Knifeit working on a bridge.
You have to be outside.
Right.
So what do you do?
Drink a lot of water. That's all you can do.
The humidity is up to...
At the U.S. Open, misting fans helped cool spectators, players using ice packs on their heads, and officials partially closed the retractable roof to create more shade.
Everyone doing what they can to stay cool. Eva Pilgrim joins us now. And Eva, these storms are set to impact the Northeast tonight?
That's right, Stephanie. These storms are expected to roll in tonight, and they should help break the heat here in the Northeast. Stephanie?
All right, Eva, thank you. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our partner station, WABC, right here in New York City, is tracking it all for us. Hey there, Lee.
All right, Stephanie. Hey, we're sweating it out here again in New York City. The 21st 90-degree day of the season. Felt like mid-90s, even triple digits in parts of New Jersey today. And those heat alerts, they go from New York City down through the Carolinas and then west into the Ohio Valley. D.C. broke a record today at 100. The old record 99 still feels like 103 into the evening hours. Now, this heat is sparking storms now, in fact, severe storms, and that will go into the evening hours. We have storms that can produce 60-mile-per-hour gusts and even some quarter-size hail, and that's headed into parts of New Jersey, may hit the Philly area, even New York City, not out of the question. Now, that heat is extinguished in the Northeast as we go through tomorrow, but it's going nowhere in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. You can see the triple-digit feel-like readings from Charlotte to Nashville, back to Paducah and St. Louis as well. We're tracking another front. This one's coming through the plains, and you can see the Dakotas, a tornado watch until 11 o'clock. These are nasty storms, and they move into the Twin Cities tomorrow. They could slow down holiday travel during the afternoon hours. This is the strong front that will take the heat away from the East Coast just in time for the holiday weekend. Stephanie?
All right, that heat continues. Thank you so much, Lee. Changing gears now to the conflict between Israel and Hamas. At least 11 Palestinians have been killed and 20 injured in a series of IDF raids across 3 cities, not in Gaza, but in the occupied West Bank. It is the largest military operation in the West Bank in years, raising fears about the war in Gaza spreading further. Mick Mulroy is standing by for us, but first, here's Britt Clennett in Jerusalem.
Fear and anger in the West Bank tonight as Israel launches the largest raid there by its forces in 20 years. The deadly raids beginning just before dawn. IDF vehicles moving into multiple cities in the northern part of the West Bank, from the air and the ground, killing at least 11 Palestinians, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The IDF calling it an extensive operation to thwart terrorist infrastructures. Israel's foreign minister calling it part of a full-fledged war. Hamas's armed wing saying 6 of its fighters were killed. Israeli forces surrounding the main hospital in Jenin, bulldozers tearing through the streets.
Armoured vehicles rolling through this village of Bet Rim, several arrests made as part of these sweeping raids across the West Bank.
We witness a significant Israeli military presence.
We can see IDF troops pointing their guns at storefronts as they patrol these areas.
Some of those arrests seen here, blindfolded men taken into an armoured vehicle. They raided our village at 4 a.m. Local resident Adel Rahmani tells us around 20 soldiers, and of course they're still here.
And Britt Clennett joins us now. Britt, we know the IDF is calling this an extensive operation, but how long are these raids expected to continue?
That's not really clear, Stephanie. We do know that the IDF said that they won't be ending tomorrow. But, Stephanie, tonight there are serious fears of the war in Gaza spreading to the West Bank. Stephanie.
All right, Britt Clennett for us tonight in Jerusalem. Britt, thank you. Now let's go to ABC News defense analyst and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, Mick Mulroy. Mick, great to see you. Thanks for being here. As we just heard in Britt's reporting, the IDF is calling this a counter-terrorism operation, targeting 3 different cities in the West Bank. Well, what do these expanded and deadly raids in the West Bank signal to you about regional expansion of this war?
Well, Stephanie, I think this was likely based on intelligence that there was going to be a terrorist attack launched from the West Bank. And that's why this was so quick and so significant. It is concerning, of course, because we're right now hoping that this conflict does not spill over and become a full-scale war in the region. If the conflict is expanding pretty rapidly into the West Bank and other territory in Israel, that is a bad sign, quite frankly. Hopefully it's going to be over and the situation calm down. If it does not, then it's just one more factor that could cause this whole thing to essentially explode.
Absolutely. Hopefully it doesn't escalate. Let's talk about ceasefire negotiations. What impact will this have on ongoing negotiations?
Well, Hamas has called for all of their people, which includes in the West Bank, to essentially stand up and start fighting. So that's not good for a ceasefire, of course. But also the IDF, and they've showed that their intelligence is getting really good with the rescue of the hostage in recent days. They're likely using the same intelligence to get closer and closer to the senior leaders of Hamas in Gaza. And that, of course, puts a lot of pressure on Hamas to come up with a plan that gets them to a ceasefire. So the ceasefire is pivotal on so many levels because it also could prevent this war from expanding again outside into the whole region.
And as you mentioned, we've heard from Hamas, we've heard from the IDF. The Palestinian president, we're hearing from the president now, he is warned there will be consequences and has asked the U.S. to intervene immediately. Is that likely?
So it's unclear what he means by intervene, but of course, the Palestinian Authority is in the West Bank. They're basically not in Gaza. So now that the war seems to have come to the West Bank, he is going to obviously have a much larger say in that. The U.S. is sanctioning. It's important to point out, sanctioning groups that support these expansions of the settlers in the West Bank, which is against international law. And the U.S. just announced today that they're sanctioning not only individuals, what they've done in the past, but groups that actually raise money for them to do these things. So the U.S., I think, is responding to his call. But other than that, the U.S. obviously is not going to intervene militarily. It's more diplomatically and economically by the use of sanctions.
And Mick, I want to talk about Iran's possible role in all of this. Israel is accusing Iran of setting up a quote, Eastern terrorist front in refugee camps inside the West Bank. What can you tell us about Iran's role here, if any?
So Iran is essentially behind almost every one of these groups in the region. So they support about 90% of Hamas's military support comes from Iran. And of course, Hamas is also in the West Bank. Hezbollah was started by Iran, and they are their most significant proxies. They have around 150,000 rockets. Iran also supports the Houthis in Yemen. So if you step back, the common denominator in all of this is Iran. So they probably are supporting and providing most of the weapons going into the West Bank, and that's probably what Israel is referring to.
Mick, we always appreciate your insights, and thank you for sharing those with us. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Steph.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are on the campaign trail. The pair were in Georgia, reaching out to rural voters in a major effort to bring them back into the fold. A new Fox News poll out tonight shows Kamala Harris now ahead in Georgia by 2 points, but it's still a very close race in Georgia and in several of the key battlegrounds. Here is our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, who is on the campaign trail tonight.
Tonight, Kamala Harris boarding her campaign bus in battleground Georgia, a two-day swing in a state where Donald Trump had been leading. But tonight, a new poll from Fox News shows Harris now ahead by 2 points. With her running mate Tim Walz at her side, Harris is targeting working-class rural voters in a state President Biden narrowly won in 2020. The ticket welcomed by a marching band at Liberty County High School in Hinesville.
And so we wanted to come by to remind you that our nation is counting on you. We're so proud of you and everything you have achieved. And I will tell you, I was in band when I was your age.
Walz leaning into his own rural roots and background as a social studies teacher and high school football coach.
My previous job to this was, of course, public school teacher and coach, which I wear with pride.
His story now a centerpiece of the campaign. At the convention, he was surprised by his old players. Today's bus tour a sign Harris knows full well she can't just rely on votes from urban centers like Atlanta. A similar scene playing out just before the convention, she and Walz visiting a campaign office in conservative western Pennsylvania, working the phones.
How you doing, Hannah?
The Democrats looking for support beyond the party strongholds in a race that could be razor close.
Mary Bruce joins us now from Georgia. Where are Harris and Walz heading next?
Well, Stephanie, Harris is here in Georgia today and tomorrow as her campaign sees some real opportunity in these Sun Belt states. Then she's hitting the Rust Belt states early next week. She'll be in Detroit and Pittsburgh on Labor Day, her first campaign appearance with President Biden. But Stephanie, of course, we know she is also doing debate prep. Harris's first face-off with Donald Trump right here on ABC on September 10th, just 13 days away, Stephanie.
It's right around the corner. Thanks so much, Mary. And there is news tonight in the FBI investigation into the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Federal investigators say the suspect looked up both Trump and President Biden before the shooting. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the latest.
This is the assault-style rifle that the FBI says Thomas Matthew Crooks used to try and kill former President Trump in western Pennsylvania, and what the Bureau is calling a target of opportunity. Tonight, authorities say that while the motive remains unknown, Crooks was apparently obsessed with violence for years, researching how to build bombs back as early as 2019. They say he was engaged in a sustained, detailed effort to plan an attack on some event. According to FBI officials, Crooks conducted more than 60 searches related to former President Trump and President Biden, even looking up, quote, when is the DNC convention and when is the RNC in 2024. This summer, after receiving word that Trump would be holding a rally near his home, Crooks became, quote, hyper-focused on the July Pennsylvania rally. Even searching online, quote, where will Trump speak from at the Butler Farm show? The FBI also releasing this image of Crooks' gun broken down into parts, and the backpack authorities suspect he used to carry it. And these images of the explosive devices found inside Crooks' car, and the air conditioning unit they say he used to climb onto a roof.
Yeah, look, there he is.
And the FBI today definitive about exactly how long Crooks was on that roof. A total of 6 minutes. First spotted about 6:05 p.m., roughly the same time Trump takes the stage. The FBI has done nearly 1,000 interviews, but after all this time is yet to determine the shooter's motive. Stephanie, this appears to be truly a loner.
Pierre Thomas for us in Washington. Thank you, Pierre. A former Las Vegas area politician has been convicted of murder. Prosecutors say he killed a reporter who had uncovered corruption, writing multiple articles on that local official. Here's ABC's Mola Lenghi.
It was a case that made national headlines back in 2022. Well-known Las Vegas journalist Jeff Gehrman fatally stabbed outside his home. The suspect captured on surveillance video in disguise. And tonight, that suspect, former politician Robert Tellez, now convicted of first-degree murder.
The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, and premeditated by means of lying in wait.
During trial, prosecutors arguing Tellez killed Gehrman in September 2022 after the reporter wrote a series of scathing articles in the Las Vegas Review-Journal detailing toxic workplace behaviors while Tellez was the Clark County public administrator. Prosecutors playing these surveillance videos, they say, shows Tellez's SUV canvassing Gehrman's neighborhood, and Tellez dressed in that disguise moments before and after the murder. Taking the stand in his own defense, Tellez claimed he was framed and denied any involvement.
I am not crazy. I am not trying to avoid responsibility.
But Tellez was pressed about DNA evidence linking him to the crime scene.
How in the world does your DNA get underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails?
I don't know, because I did not kill Mr. Gehrman.
Prosecutors telling the jury not to buy it.
He took the life of an individual who was simply doing his job because he didn't like how it impacted him personally.
Well, Stephanie, the Las Vegas Journal-Review issuing a statement to ABC News tonight saying that Jeff was more than just a trusted journalist. He was a good man who left behind family who loved him, friends who cherished him. His murder remains an outrage. The statement goes on to say that he is missed. Stephanie.
All right, Mola, thank you so much. The U.S. Surgeon General warns that parenting can be harmful to your mental health due to dangerous levels of stress. In the advisory, Dr. Vivek Murthy says 41% of parents say they are so stressed they can't function, adding that parents today are facing different challenges from previous generations, including worries about social media, longer work hours, technology, loneliness. The Surgeon General highlighted the urgent need to better support parents and families. Now to the new crackdown tonight on what authorities are calling crime tourism. They say this was not a rental car agency. They say instead it was catering to thieves coming into the U.S. and allegedly telling them where to go to target homeowners and businesses. Matt Gutman reports from Los Angeles.
Tonight, federal prosecutors announcing a bust of what they're calling the Hertz car rental of crime tourists flocking to the U.S. from abroad. Federal agents seen conducting raids in Los Angeles. The indictment says 6 members of the alleged crime ring provided rental cars and information to a very specific clientele.
This was no ordinary car rental business. This business catered only to crooks. They would also be directed, since many of them were not familiar with the country, to where to go to commit acts of crime and theft.
The business operating under the name Driver Power Rentals. The 6-year federal investigation claims the car rental ring facilitated over 120 burglaries or thefts in 80 cities around the U.S., swiping more than $35 million in stolen goods from diamond rings to watches and designer bags. Authorities saying they used that loot to buy luxury cars, even horses.
Just an incredible amount of money stolen. Matt Gutman joins us now. And Matt, what else are prosecutors alleging?
The prosecutors say that this ring basically acted like quarterbacks. So not only did they rent the cars to the thieves, but they told the thieves where to go, which houses to raid, and then they took a slice of the proceeds, netting millions of dollars just for themselves. Now, this ring and the defendants face multiple charges, including wire fraud and money laundering. Stephanie.
Incredible. Matt Gutman for us tonight. Thank you so much, Matt. Wildfires that swept Canada's woodlands last year released more carbon emissions than the burning of fossil fuels in all but 3 countries. Canada's historically hot temperatures last year kept multiple fires burning for months. A new study in the journal Nature has found that those fires were responsible for 647 million tons of planet-warming carbon emissions. That's equal to the fossil fuel emissions of all large nations except China, the U.S., and India. But even more, the weather conditions that led to these massive fires is expected to be typical in the next 25 to 30 years. Boar's Head Provisions is expanding its meat recall due to a possible contamination of listeria. The deli meat giant is now recalling 71 different products and more than 7 million pounds of ready-to-eat deli meat and poultry. The products were distributed nationwide and have now been pulled from the shelves. Since July, 34 people have been identified with listeria infections in 18 states, causing 57 hospitalizations and 8 deaths. We still have much more to get to here on Prime. A bad batch of medicine used to treat hypertension sends children to the hospital. But up next, it used to be one of the most polluted places in America. While the EPA has spent decades cleaning up this Montana community, except for one town that feels left behind. That's up next.
Do you feel like the government is leaving you behind?
Yes, I do, because, you know, I'm a Butte native. I've lived here almost 60 years. We're a small fish in a big pond, and we're not getting what we deserve, and Butte deserves better.
Baywatch is a fantasy.
Baywatch was sexy.
Baywatch was the #1 show in the world. When you hear that theme song,
I had no idea how much fun I was going to have.
It was addicting. People were just eating that stuff alive.
it was a wild time, and I was a wild chick. Jason Momoa exploded.
Carmen was a bombshell.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
Pamela was the sweet girl from Canada who came to get the American dream.
I'm really proud of everything I've done. Almost.
Baywatch was a whirlwind of epic highs and bitter lows.
It was a lot of pressure.
Everybody was disposable, and if you didn't fit into their brand, you were gone.
Greed, lust, fame.
Everyone likes to watch sexy things.
Kelsey Turner was a rising Insta model.
Kelsey definitely wanted to be famous.
She would do anything to get what she was due.
A beloved child psychiatrist missing. An Instagram model missing.
There was a body in the trunk, clean-cut guy. They don't normally end up beat to death in trunks of cars.
Sometimes we have to realize there's evil in this world.
Now, Friday night.
You're a witness to a murder. So what happened next?
2020, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead. Hang on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
The critics agree.
Hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything. Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985? I think we could have.
They both want to be your next president. Now, finally, Kamala Harris.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. the ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis, Tuesday, September 10th, live on ABC and streaming on ABC News Live, Hulu, and Disney+. The ABC News presidential debate.
Welcome back. In Big Sky Country, a decades-long environmental cleanup is nearly complete. Anaconda, Montana, used to be one of the most polluted places in America. Today, this community, which once helped fuel the Industrial Revolution, is making big strides to restore its beauty. But a neighboring town is frustrated by the pace of their cleanup, and residents say the government is leaving them behind. ABC News Live anchor Kana Whitworth first traveled to the region last fall and has this in-depth report in tonight's Prime Focus.
In Big Sky Country, there are big changes happening. These lush green hills, now full of plants and wildlife, were once the epicenter of the world's copper supply and all the pollution that came with it.
If you would have seen it, almost 40 years ago, it was kind of like a moonscape up here.
The industry dried up in the 1980s and left behind a toxic mess spanning hundreds of miles.
The community had to scramble, find employment elsewhere, move other directions.
It's taken decades, huge investment, and a massive cleanup that is now finally paying off.
Do you consider that the biggest success story so far? I think it has to be one of the biggest.
Bringing some towns back from the brink.
There's a lot of hammers and cranes and construction. We haven't seen this in, 50 years.
And others feeling left in the dust.
If lead's going to kill you in Anaconda, it's going to kill you in Butte.
It towers over this community and the region, and for decades, this smokestack has been a symbol of prosperity and peril in Anaconda. If you ask people here, they'll tell you it built this community.
There's a real sense of pride.
It's fed and kept our family warm for many years.
At 585 feet, this is the tallest freestanding masonry structure in the world. In fact, it's so big you can actually fit the Washington Monument inside. It's a legacy to the Industrial Revolution. But because of its height, smelter emissions, like heavy metals and arsenic, impacted 300 square miles.
Copper ore processed here helped electrify the nation and was used to make coins, car radiators, air conditioning systems, and so much more. By 1981, the mine closed, and the area turned into a polluted mess, designated a Superfund site by the government. But the smokestack remained. And those heavy metals and arsenic took their toll on the surrounding ecosystem, destroying vegetation, killing animals, and driving away concerned citizens who once called this place home.
There was no vegetation, and so to have a lot of this vegetation coming back, it's really something neat.
You could say Charlie Coleman's life work is trying to get this place cleaned up. The former EPA project manager spearheaded the Superfund cleanup effort for nearly 40 years.
There's a real sense of pride, the amount of work that we've been able to do, working with the community along the way, helping them to get some of the things they wanted, restoring the environment in the area.
Coleman worked in tandem with various government agencies, city officials, and the mine's owner, the Atlantic Richfield Company, now a subsidiary by BP, to remove contaminants from the soil and waterways to what the government deemed acceptable levels. And the work continues.
The company's done a really good job working with folks. We've cleaned up nearly 3/4 of the community. The water comes from a very clean source.
So there's still, despite the progress that we can see, when we look down at the homes and businesses, there's still work to be done.
Yeah, there's still yards that need to be cleaned up. That'll still go on until the 2025 time frame. As the area is redeveloped, soils will be tested.
That yard work includes soil revitalization and attic cleaning to remove traces of toxic dust for all homes in the community.
We've been sampling and remediating yards pretty heavy since about 2015. There's roughly 3,300 residential properties within the site, and we've sampled 2/3 of that right now and remediated about a little over half. We're doing between 100 and 200 yards per year.
Some homeowners watching the cleanup in action feel good. about the future of Anaconda.
When you see attics getting cleaned out, it makes me happy. Watching this town grow into something, to me, I'm really excited about.
And as the cleanup efforts breathe new life into the community, so do small business opportunities, something the city's chief executive officer has been working on tirelessly.
The fallout of the community with the loss of the smelter was huge. The community had to scramble, find employment elsewhere, move other directions, and try to somehow make this an economic, stable community. Unfortunately, it wasn't for 40 years. And we're just now finally starting to recover from that.
Families are now relocating back to Anaconda. Developers are moving in. And a Jack Nicklaus golf course complete with mining remnants and black sand pits from the smelter slag. The 18 holes are built right over toxic waste, covered by 18 inches of dirt.
We are a Superfund site where the component is waste in place. It needs to be safe, but you can't, obviously, the slag pile, as you were able to see earlier, that wasn't able to be moved somewhere. So what we've done is cover it and make it safe and revegetate it.
The EPA says the clean dirt on top dilutes any lingering contaminants to acceptable levels under 400 parts per million. But just a few miles down the highway, a similar town with a very different story. In its heyday, Butte, Montana was the biggest city between Chicago and San Francisco. For decades, the enormous copper deposits beneath these hills were sent off to Anaconda, and in the process, left mine waste like lead and arsenic all over the community.
I grew up across the street from a mine dump that was called the Yellow Hill. You know, we played on it, it turned yellow when it rained, and we'd go play on it, and, you know, ruin our shoes. But now you think about it, it's crazy that we live like that. That was just normal for us.
The Berkeley Pit, also normal for locals here. Complete with noisy sirens to keep birds away, this colossal hole in the ground is flooded with one of the largest bodies of contaminated water in the United States and sits right on the edge of town. The cleanup has been dragging on since the 80s. And while there have been remediation efforts, Butte's cleanup still has a long way to go. The hillsides have many dead zones, and there's toxic wastewater in the creek that runs right through the middle of town.
We are at the Continental Divide here. This is the headwaters of the Columbia River right here. And amazingly, they waited for the cleanup of the first mile of to be the last cleanup. We never could figure that out. It made no sense.
The cleanup effort here is also operating under different standards than in Anaconda.
We are to accept 1,200 parts per million. Anaconda is at 400 parts per million. We have 3 times as much lead in the soil than they do over in Anaconda. Makes no sense whatsoever since the tolerance for lead for children is 0.
Do you feel like the government is leaving you behind?
Yes, I do, because, you know, I'm a Butte native. I've lived here almost 60 years. We're a small fish in a big pond, and we're not getting what we deserve, and Butte deserves better.
As a parent, it's terrifying that we have this going on. They'll promise they'll be on top of it forever. If something breaks down, they'll fix it. How many people are going to get sick before they realize it needs to be cleaned up?
Since our trip to Butte, the EPA has released new national guidance on lead contamination that might lead to a reduction in that 1,200 parts per million standard that frustrated residents.
Do you see how it would be hard for people in Butte to say, why do we have to accept a higher level of contaminants than our neighbors down the road?
Yeah, we definitely do understand the concerns it raised. We've upped our public engagement. We're pushing more for transparency within the data, but we do understand the concerns. But I do want to point out, though, if the data does show that there's been a significant decline of blood lead levels within Butte, even with the current cleanup level.
Back in Anaconda, the cleanup effort has been so successful that the EPA recently removed it from the state's roster of Superfund sites.
This is the American way. Where we're located is absolutely an amazing place for recreation. We got a beautiful ski hill, we got the Pentler Wilderness, we got the Big Hole Valley. We got all those things. We have a beautiful Jack Nicklaus golf course, and we want to share it with others.
Yeah, baby!
The region looking to turn a corner while staying true to their roots.
They've been a little bit left behind. That, like, we ripped off our mountaintops to electrify this country. We helped the country. We helped the government. Now we need help, and we're being overlooked.
Well, we certainly understand the concerns and the love for the community. As I said before, Butte is a top priority for us. You could see it in the amount of resources that we put in, the time we spend there, the focus we have on community engagement. We want to be able to do the best we can for those people.
Our thanks to Kana. We still have much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, long hidden secrets from the beach. Our conversation with Baywatch star Nicole Eggert about the new 4-part series that dives into the untold stories behind the iconic 90s television show. But up next, it is time for the Paralympics. The latest group of elite athletes have descended onto Paris. What to look forward to by the numbers.
It was a regular day for 19-year-old Melissa Witt.
She went to meet her mom at a bowling church league, but she never makes it into the bowling alley. My gut knew this was not a young girl who just ran away.
New information, pools of blood were found by detectives.
I'd just love to have her back more than anything in the world.
It is a heart-wrenching day for the family of Melissa Witt.
Police found the body in the Ozark National Forest.
You had several suspects.
All these kinds of leads.
A known serial killer in your area.
Could he be involved?
We're actually finding key evidence that could have slipped through the cracks.
You're looking for that game-changing piece.
Her last hours on this earth were probably the most horrific a person can experience.
This beautiful young girl. Police will find out what happened.
At Wit's End, the hunt for a killer, only on Hulu.
Stéphane Bourgoin was this titan of the true crime industry.
But the story was never consistent.
All these fans were combing through his stuff. His career is built on lies.
It is unfolding in front of us.
Is it dangerous?
I needed to hear what he had to say about it all. Am I about to step into this chamber of horrors?
Kelsey Turner was a rising Insta model.
Kelsey definitely wanted to be famous.
She would do anything to get what she was due.
A beloved child psychiatrist missing. An Instagram model missing.
There was a body in the trunk, clean-cut guy. They don't normally end up beat to death in trunks of cars.
Sometimes we have to realize there's evil in this world.
Now, Friday night.
You're a witness to a murder. So what happened next?
2020, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC. ABC News Live, honored with 8 Emmy nominations, more than any other streaming news network. And ABC News Live Prime with Linsey Davis, the first and only streaming show nominated for Best Outstanding Live News Program. Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news. Ryan, Vanna, Wheel of Fortune. Where can you finally see a first look behind the scenes of the new Wheel set?
Let me show you.
Tuesday morning on
Good Morning America.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food.
It's all coming up on GMA3.
You're gonna love it. We'll see you then.
GMA3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
Me too.
Reporting from the war in Ukraine, I'm Ian Pannell. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
The games are not over. Tonight in Paris, the Paralympic Games kick off with the opening ceremony in the city's largest square. What you need to know as these elite athletes compete by the numbers. For the next 11 days, elite athletes with physical and intellectual impairments will compete in 22 sports, including para-swimming, wheelchair basketball, and para-judo. 4,400 Paralympic athletes will compete in the Games, with 225 athletes representing the United States. There's para-dressage and para-taekwondo, plus 2 sports that only exist at these games, bocce and goalball. Goalball is designed for blind and visually impaired athletes, and the ball has bells inside so competitors can track its movement. The first Paralympic Games were in Rome back in 1960, and since then, the United States has won more than 800 gold medals, putting the U.S. at the top of the medal table. With 55 career medals, American swimmer Tricia Zorn Hudson is the most successful athlete in the history of the Paralympic Games. Zorn Hudson, who was born blind, has earned 41 gold medals dating back to her first Paralympic Games in 1980. 65,000 spectators are expected to watch tonight's opening ceremony in Paris, and it will take place outside rather than in a stadium, and that's happening for the first time. We still have much more to get to here on Prime. Studying Snapchat. That's right, it's still around and it's popular. This social media app is helping teachers learn how their students use the platform. Plus, gardening is an art form. And for one man, his yard is the canvas. Look at that. Meet this master gardener whose sculpted shrubs are earning him worldwide attention.
There was a specific moment during our wedding. I looked at Jason and I realized this was real. This was our family.
This is her knight in shining armor.
Everything felt right. All of a sudden, I found this hidden folder. I opened it, and I don't think I can say it. I'm sorry.
She put her hand to her mouth and, like, gasped.
Jason would kill me before he would let me tell anyone this part of him.
He's in so much freaking trouble.
I remember just feeling like, what the hell? That was my dad. What is going on?
That's when that fire inside of me shifted to like a flame. I was like, it's on.
Betrayal is one of the hardest types of trauma to overcome.
He didn't think I had it in me to do something. So I did.
Betrayal, a father's secret. The all-new season, only on Hulu.
Tonight, as extreme heat slams the Northeast, the severe storms right behind it. Plus, with their high-stakes debate less than 2 weeks away, the Battleground Blitz is on. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most-watched newscast.
Friday, Megan Maroney brings the party to GMA, kicking off your Labor Day weekend with a morning concert event. Friday, only on Good Morning America's Summer Concert Series, sponsored by Wayfair.
Baywatch is a fantasy. When you hear that theme song, it was a wild time, and I was a wild chick.
Jason Momoa exploded.
Carmen was a bombshell.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
I'm really proud of everything I've done. Almost.
Baywatch was a whirlwind of epic highs and bitter lows.
Everyone likes to watch sexy things.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead. Hang on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer.
It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
They both want to be your next president. Now, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, face to face. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday, September 10th, live on ABC and streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
3 children are affected by a bad batch of medicine meant for kids. Snapchat is trying to help teachers understand how students use the app, and the latest Supreme Court ruling for President Biden's student loan debt relief plan. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
3 children were affected by a bad shipment of clonidine oral suspension, commonly used to treat hypertension, according to a Kentucky County Public Health notice. The County Emergency Services team transported the 3 patients over the weekend. One of those patients is 5-year-old Raven, who was transported to the ICU at Norton Children's Hospital.
10 minutes after giving her that, she dropped all her toys and was completely unresponsive.
Her parents say she is still unresponsive in the hospital. Officials are warning other parents not to administer the medication to their children. The popular messaging app Snapchat is releasing resources for educators ahead of the school year. As states begin to embrace phone-free policies in their schools, the company is aiming to educate teachers on how students use their app. The toolkit explains what Snapchat is and how the company protects the privacy of their users. Snapchat was the 3rd most popular app for teens, according to a 2023 Pew study. The Supreme Court today refusing to lift a sweeping block on President Biden's student loan repayment plan known as SAVE. The High Court turned down a request from the Biden administration to put the plan back in play after lower courts blocked it this summer in a legal challenge brought by Republican-led states. The Supreme Court order does not have an immediate impact on the 8 million borrowers currently enrolled in SAVE. An 80-year-old man died at the Grand Canyon National Park after his boat flipped in the Colorado River, marking the 13th person to die in the park this year. The man was on a commercial rapids trip Sunday and fell into the water at Fossil Rapid, according to the National Park Service. A 4-year-old boy accidentally smashed a Bronze Age jar during a visit to a museum in Israel last week. The museum said the ancient jar dates back to between 2200 and 1500 BC, making it at least 3,500 years old. The boy's father told the BBC that his son slightly pushed the jar out of curiosity to see what was inside. The museum said the jar will be restored and returned to its place in the museum. When most people think about skunks, they often think about the strong smell they give to fend off attackers. Derek Paramore and his pet skunk Valentine are trying to change that perception. Paramore runs a skunk sanctuary called A Sanctuary for Stinky Noodles. Valentine is a domestic skunk who has had the skunk scent removed. Paramore calls Valentine his comfort animal. He said the skunk helps people not to judge a book by its cover or its smell.
It is time tonight for the latest in our series, Streamlined, where we take you behind some of the biggest films and TV series hitting screens worldwide. It's a show that became a global phenomenon, Baywatch. You remember that show, right? Now a new 4-part docuseries from ABC News Studios is unpacking its legacy through never-before-seen footage and never-told stories from some of its biggest stars.
Baywatch is a fantasy.
Baywatch was sexy.
Baywatch was the #1 show in the world. When you hear that theme song,
Carbon Electra, just one of my favorites. Earlier, we sat down with one of the show's stars, who's also a producer on the series, and also another one of my favorites, and she talks about the show's meteoric rise. Nicole, it is so great to see you. So great to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, gosh, I feel like there's so much to talk about. Baywatch, on for 11 seasons. I want to talk about this series, the new show, but just thinking back to the cultural impact that Baywatch made in the 80s and 90s, what's it like for you to look back on that now, on that part of your life?
Well, I feel like everybody else, to be honest, where it's nostalgic and it brings back that fun time that was the 90s. So looking back, it's just, I don't know, it's like a little piece of history that's just fun. And you go, yeah, I remember those times. And the music and everything just brings you back to a good time.
What was it like to revisit some of those characters? And also, what story did you want to tell? What did you want to share in this documentary?
It's interesting. I didn't think about myself as much, ironically. I just wanted interviews with the cast and with all of us that were more real and more candid than what was. I always see a lot of regurgitated stories and pictures, and it's always the same old thing. Like, I don't even need to read the article. I know what they're saying about everything. So I wanted it to be just more in depth than that, and for everybody to give, you know, their side of what their life is like instead of it being written about them.
Yeah. How did it feel to finally see it come together? I mean, there is such a labor of love. It seems like you were there from the very beginning. It took 4.5 years to tape. What was it like to finally see it completed?
It's emotional.
I bet.
Yes, I get teary, like, because it's like my baby. And I love it so much and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so proud of everybody that participated in it. So I just get really emotional, to be honest. And I think everybody did a great job. I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
So you've been very candid over the last few months about your breast cancer journey. You revealed that you had a breast cancer diagnosis back in January. How are you doing? How are you doing now?
You know, I'm good. I'm really good. Yes, I was diagnosed in September, actually, so I've been living with it, and I've been dealing with it, and I've found, you know, I'm living through it. I'm thriving and surviving, and you know, you have to. It's something I had to learn. You know, there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of gray area. That's the hardest part, I think, for me, and it's life-changing.
Of course.
It
That's
really
right. In
is.
January, you posted that you were responsive to the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's great news.
Fantastic news. It's sort of like it's a pinch me moment, and it's something you don't want to get too excited about because, you know, cancer is a little tricky disease. So, you know, after chemo, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can have surgery because your body needs to heal and recover. And so I'm in that waiting period.
In the documentary, we hear from more than 35 members of the original cast and the show's original creators. What do you think fans will be surprised to hear from any of your former castmates or just watching this documentary?
I think people are going to be surprised to see that these are not just pretty faces. These are not just pretty faces with great bodies and red bathing suits. These are human beings with a lot of depth and, you know, a lot of personality that didn't really get its time. And I feel like people will really enjoy just hearing people's stories from them, and honest, true stories of how this has affected their life and where they're at. And it's never been done before, so.
How would you describe those years of success and huge recognition?
Well, it was fun. It was a fun ride. You know, for me, it kind of took my career in a different way than I had wanted. So I was trying to run away from it, to be honest. And it has led to amazing things. And here we are now. And it's been a blessing, but it just took some time to get there and realize that.
Yeah. And I was going to say, there are so many, the cast, yourself, and so many other folks on the show had so many different paths after this show. And when you look back on that and just the impact that the show had on your life and the other actors on the show, what is that? What do you think about that? Is it? I mean, I know you mentioned it being a blessing, but when you think back, would you do it all over again?
Yeah, I would do it all over again. I don't have regrets. So I feel like I'm always where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, I would do it all over again. I might do it a little differently. I might not quit. I might, you know, roll with it because you can't run away from things. Big lesson in life. But, you know, I think everybody has such a different journey with it. So a lot of people still distance themselves from it. A lot of people distance themselves from the industry altogether. And people have gone on to be successful at other things. Some people are still in the industry and thriving. So, you know, everybody's taken a different path.
Such a pleasure to have you here and see you. And we wish you the absolute best. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Congrats on the documentary.
Thank you.
Our thanks again to Nicole Eggert. The 4-part docuseries After Baywatch: Moment in the Sun is now streaming on Hulu.
Well, a man across the pond has elevated hedge trimming into an art form, and his name's literally Tim Bush. ABC's Danny New has more.
Even for the guy with scissors for hands,
I'll be darned.
the transition to topiary still came as a surprise.
I don't think I even imagined in my wildest dreams how much attention they would garner, actually.
Over the past 15 years, Tim Bush, yes, Bush, has become famous in North London for turning his neighbors' hedges into cartoonish works of art. There's a fish, a hippo, and even this pair of elephants, which actually has reviews on Google Maps. One says, "Superb hedge, would recommend visiting if ever in London." For the record, this artistic awakening did not come out of nowhere for the 71-year-old. Tim is a retired architect.
We won some awards and things, but nothing like the publicity that's come from cutting a few hedges into a funny shape.
And he also went to art school for 7 years, decades ago. So maybe that was part of the reason why, around 2010, his now late wife, Philippa, just asked him one day if he could turn one of their bushes into a cat.
I think she wanted something more attractive to look at in the front garden.
And then when their neighbor needed a hedge makeover too, it was Philippa who volunteered Tim for that project. Now, sadly, Philippa passed away in 2017 after a battle with breast cancer. But Tim appreciates how this attention has helped spread her legacy to so many.
I imagine if she was still alive, she'd be fairly tickled with the amount of attention they've all got.
A decade and a half later, and now Tim has about a dozen or so hedges to routinely maintain because, you know, bushes grow. But here's maybe the most rewarding part. Many of these homeowners pay Tim for each time he comes by with his trimmer, but he doesn't keep any of it. Over the years, Tim has been able to donate thousands of pounds to various organizations and charities around the world.
I decided to do something useful and have fun at the same time.
Oh, he is talented and a good human, too. We love to see that. Our thanks to Danny New. Well, that is our show for this hour. I'm Stephanie Ramos. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, strong storms and scorching heat, the latest in a string of severe weather sweeping the country. And a popular deli meat supplier recalls meat products after a possible listeria contamination is linked to 8 deaths.
Kelsey Turner was a rising Insta model.
Kelsey definitely wanted to be famous.
She would do anything to get what she was due.
A beloved child psychiatrist missing. An Instagram model missing.
There was a body in the trunk, clean-cut guy. They don't normally end up beat to death in trunks of cars.
Sometimes we have to realize there's evil in this world.
Now, Friday night.
You're witness to a murder. So what happened next?
2020, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC. Get ready for Football Friday when College Game Day comes early to GMA. It's going to be a party in Texas with the Texas A&M Yell Leaders hyping you up Labor Day weekend. Plus, dads, daughters, and football. What could be better than that? It's Football Friday on GMA.
Let's go. The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead! Tag on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer.
It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different.
I'm really sorry that article had to come out.
I just remember seeing that cover and thinking, oh. So I thought it might be interesting to try and contact everyone who is in the Brat Pack. You were not interested in talking about the Brat Pack.
I turned everything down.
How come you're talking to me?
Because it was time that we clear the air on a couple of things.
Whoa. I hated the Brat Pack for decades. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense?
We're afraid we were brats, you know?
Andrew?
I mean, I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium. There were moments.
We could have. 1985, I think we could have.
Ryan, Vanna, Wheel of Fortune. Where can you finally see a first look behind the scenes of the new Wheel set?
Let me show you. It's like a magic wand.
Tuesday morning,
It's Wheel of Fortune. How can you not be happy?
Ginger's right there on
Good morning, America.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. This is ABC News Live Prime. I'm Stephanie Ramos. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We've got a lot of news to get to this evening, including at least 50 million Americans under heat alerts as the hottest weather of the season spreads across the eastern half of the U.S. with dozens of record highs broken or tied. Plus, it is one of the largest operations in the occupied West Bank in months. The on-the-ground raids in Jenin, the Hamas militants killed and Palestinian casualties in the process as the conflict grows. And singer, songwriter, and actress Andra Day is set to rise up on screen, all while going toe-to-toe with Glenn Close, our conversation with the star. But we begin with that extreme weather ahead of the Labor Day weekend. Severe storms from the Midwest to the Northeast and the dangerous heat. 55 million people on alert. At this hour, the heat index still soaring from St. Louis to New York. Feels like temperatures soaring, topping 103. Washington, D.C., the same. Philadelphia, 99. New York City, 95. And check out this dramatic lightning storm over Chicago. Time-lapse images showing one of several rounds of storms. And right here in New York City, the U.S. Open implementing its extreme weather policy. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg has the forecast in just a moment, but we begin with ABC's Eva Pilgrim right here in New York.
Tonight, more than 250,000 still without power in Michigan after storms took out trees and power lines. Near Detroit, firefighters tackling a boat fire on Lake St. Clair amid high winds and steep waves. Thankfully, no one was hurt. A doorbell camera catching this cyclist crashing right into a massive tree in Milwaukee. Those storms now headed east, fueled by extreme heat, baking more than 50 million Americans from New York to Philly to D.C., where the temperature hit 100 degrees today.
As soon as we come out into the sunshine, it's like...
Yeah. It's beating
serious.
Scores of schools across the region letting students out early.
I had to rearrange my work schedule to make sure that we could get here on time.
Outside New York City, Allie Guerrero scrambling to pick up her stepson Nicholas at Campbell Elementary School in Metuchen, New Jersey.
How did it feel in there?
Like I was getting cooked.
Anyone working outside at risk, like construction worker Nate Knifeit working on a bridge.
You have to be outside.
Right.
So what do you do?
Drink a lot of water. That's all you can do.
The humidity is up to... At the U.S. Open, misting fans helped cool spectators, players using ice packs on their heads, and officials partially closed the retractable roof to create more shade.
Our thanks to Eva Pilgrim here in New York. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our partner station, WABC, right here in New York City, is tracking it all for us. Hey there, Lee.
All right, Stephanie. Hey, you know, we're sweating it out here again in New York City. The 21st 90-degree day of the season. Felt like mid-90s, even triple digits in parts of New Jersey today. And those heat alerts, they go from New York City down through the Carolinas and then west into the Ohio Valley. D.C. broke a record today at 100. The old record 99 still feels like 103 into the evening hours. Now, this heat is sparking storms now. In fact, severe storms, and that will go into the evening hours. We have storms that can produce 60-mile-per-hour gusts and even some quarter-size hail, and that's headed into parts of New Jersey, may hit the Philly area, even New York City, not out of the question. Now, that heat is extinguished in the Northeast as we go through tomorrow, but it's going nowhere in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. You can see the triple-digit feel-like readings from Charlotte to Nashville, back to Paducah and St. Louis as well. We're tracking another front. This one's coming through the plains, and you can see the Dakotas, a tornado watch until 11 o'clock. These are nasty storms, and they move into the Twin Cities tomorrow. They could slow down holiday travel during the afternoon hours. This is the strong front that will take the heat away from the East Coast just in time for the holiday weekend. Stephanie?
All right, that heat continues. Thank you so much, Lee. At least 11 Palestinians have been killed and 20 injured in a series of IDF raids across 3 cities, not in Gaza, but in the occupied West Bank. It is the largest military operation in the West Bank in years, raising fears about the war spreading further. Here's Britt Clennett in Jerusalem.
Fear and anger in the West Bank tonight as Israel launches the largest raid there by its forces in 20 years. The deadly raids beginning just before dawn. IDF vehicles moving into multiple cities in the northern part of the West Bank, from the air and the ground, killing at least 11 Palestinians, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The IDF calling it an extensive operation to thwart terrorist infrastructures. Israel's foreign minister calling it part of a full-fledged war. Hamas's armed wing saying 6 of its fighters were killed. Israeli forces surrounding the main hospital in Jenin, bulldozers tearing through the streets.
Armoured vehicles rolling through this village of Bet Remet, several arrests made as part of these sweeping raids across the West Bank.
We witness a significant Israeli military presence.
We can see IDF troops pointing their guns at storefronts as they patrol these areas.
Some of those arrests seen here, blindfolded men taken into an armoured vehicle. They raided our village at 4 a.m. Local resident Adil Rahmani tells us around 20 soldiers, and of course they're still here.
Our thanks to Britt Clennett. Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are on the campaign trail. The pair were in Georgia, reaching out to rural voters in a major effort to bring them back into the fold. A new Fox News poll out tonight shows Kamala Harris now ahead in Georgia by 2 points, but it's still a very close race in Georgia and in several of the key battlegrounds. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, on the campaign trail tonight.
Tonight, Kamala Harris boarding her campaign bus in battleground Georgia, a 2-day swing in a state where Donald Trump had been leading. But tonight, a new poll from Fox News shows Harris now ahead by 2 points. With her running mate Tim Walz at her side, Harris is targeting working-class rural voters in a state President Biden narrowly won in 2020. The ticket welcomed by a marching band at Liberty County High School in Hinesville.
And so we wanted to come by to remind you that our nation is counting on you. We're so proud of you and everything you have achieved. And I will tell you, I was in band when I was your age.
Walz leaning into his own rural roots and background as a social studies teacher and high school football coach.
My previous job to this was, of course, public school teacher and coach, which I wear with pride.
His story now a centerpiece of the campaign. At the convention, he was surprised by his old players. Today's bus tour a sign Harris knows full well she can't just rely on votes from urban centers like Atlanta. A similar scene playing out just before the convention, she and Walz visiting a campaign office in conservative western Pennsylvania, working the phones.
How you doing, Hannah?
The Democrats looking for support beyond the party strongholds in a race that could be razor close.
Our thanks to Mary Bruce. There is news tonight in the FBI investigation into the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Federal investigators say the suspect looked up both Trump and President Biden before the shooting. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the latest.
This is the assault-style rifle that the FBI says Thomas Matthew Crooks used to try and kill former President Trump in western Pennsylvania, and what the Bureau is calling a target of opportunity. Tonight, authorities say that while the motive remains unknown, Crooks was apparently obsessed with violence for years, researching how to build bombs back as early as 2019. They say he was engaged in a sustained, detailed effort to plan an attack on some event. According to FBI officials, Crooks conducted more than 60 searches related to former President Trump and President Biden, even looking up, quote, when is the DNC convention and when is the RNC in 2024. This summer, after receiving word that Trump would be holding a rally near his home, Crooks became, quote, hyper-focused on the July Pennsylvania rally. Even searching online, quote, where will Trump speak from at the Butler Farm show? The FBI also releasing this image of Crooks' gun broken down into parts, The backpack authorities suspect he used to carry it. And these images of the explosive devices found inside Crook's car. And the air conditioning unit they say he used to climb onto a roof.
Yeah, look, there he is.
And the FBI today definitive about exactly how long Crooks was on that roof. A total of 6 minutes. First spotted about 6:05 p.m., roughly the same time Trump takes the stage.
Pierre Thomas reporting from Washington. Our thanks to Pierre. Tonight, a former Las Vegas area politician has been convicted of murder. Authorities say he killed a reporter who had uncovered corruption with multiple articles on that local official. Here's ABC's Mola Lenghi.
It was a case that made national headlines back in 2022. Well-known Las Vegas journalist Jeff Gehrman fatally stabbed outside his home. The suspect captured on surveillance video in disguise. And tonight, that suspect, former politician Robert Tellez, now convicted of first-degree murder.
The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, and premeditated by means of lying in wait.
During trial, prosecutors arguing Tellez killed Gehrman in September 2022 after the reporter wrote a series of scathing articles in the Las Vegas Review-Journal detailing toxic workplace behaviors while Tellez was the Clark County public administrator. Prosecutors playing these surveillance videos, they say, shows Tellez's SUV canvassing Gehrman's neighborhood, and Tellez dressed in that disguise moments before and after the murder. Taking the stand in his own defense, Tellez claimed he was framed and denied any involvement.
I am not crazy. I am not trying to avoid responsibility.
But Tellez was pressed about DNA evidence linking him to the crime scene.
How in the world does your DNA get underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails?
I don't know, because I did not kill Mr. Gehrman.
Prosecutors telling the jury not to buy it.
He took the life of an individual who was simply doing his job because he didn't like how it impacted him personally.
Our thanks to Mola Lenghi. Federal officials announced 6 arrests in a crackdown on so-called crime tourism. Prosecutors allege the suspects operated a crime ring out of a car rental company and directed an eager group of thieves to commit 120 burglaries or thefts in 80 different cities across the U.S. The suspects are charged with conspiracy, wire fraud, and money laundering, and could each get up to 335 years in prison. Officials say crime tourism is a massive problem nationwide and that investigations are ongoing. Boar's Head Provisions is expanding its meat recall due to a possible contamination of listeria after 8 deaths. The deli meat giant is now recalling 71 different products and more than 7 million pounds of ready-to-eat deli meat and poultry. The products were distributed nationwide and have now been pulled from the shelves. Since July, 34 people have been identified with listeria infections in 18 states, causing 57 hospitalizations and, of course, those 8 deaths. We still have much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, the founder and chief executive officer of Telegram is under formal investigation connected to a probe of illicit activity on the app. Plus, singer, songwriter, and actress Andra Day is set to rise up on screen, all while going toe-to-toe with Glenn Close. Our conversation with the star is up next.
Baywatch is a fantasy.
Baywatch was sexy. Baywatch was the #1 show in the world. When you hear that theme song,
I had no idea how much fun I was going to have.
It was addicting. People were just eating that stuff alive.
it was a wild time, and I was a wild chick.
Jason Momoa exploded.
Carmen was a bombshell.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
Pamela was the sweet girl from Canada who came to get the American dream.
I'm really proud of everything I've done. Almost.
Baywatch was a whirlwind of epic highs and bitter lows.
It was a lot of pressure.
Everybody was disposable, and if you didn't fit into their brand, you were gone. Greed, lust, fame.
Everyone likes to watch sexy things.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead. Hang on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
They both want to be your next president. Now, finally, Kamala Harris.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Linsey Davis. Tuesday, September 10th, live on ABC and streaming on ABC News Live, Hulu, and Disney+. The ABC News presidential debate.
Reporting from the 2024 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, I'm Kira Phillips. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
We are tracking several headlines around the world. In Sudan, residents of the city of Toker used ropes to pull people from safety from those floodwaters, to safety rather, from those floodwaters. Floods have destroyed homes and displaced more than 100,000 people in the region. A main highway in Toker was destroyed, and trucks haven't been able to go in or out for 8 days. After losing their homes and most of their belongings, many Sudanese have been forced to now flee on foot. Telegram's founder and chief executive officer, Pavel Durov, is now under formal investigation in a probe of illicit activity on the app. Charges include complicity in the platform, allegedly enabling organized crime and illegal transactions, as well as complicity in the distribution of child sexual abuse material, among other charges. He was arrested in Paris this weekend and subsequently released from custody, but he is barred from leaving France. And in eastern Bolivia, there is such a shortage of both water and firefighting equipment that locals who volunteer to fight fires are using plastic bottles to try to douse the flames. 43 different fires are raging in the Santa Cruz area, and authorities say nearly 5 million acres have already burned. Well, singer, songwriter, actress Andra Day is multi-hyphenated and is not easily intimidated. She stopped by recently telling our Juju Chang that fearlessness came in handy on her newest project, rolling with some formidable talent on the big screen.
Andra Day, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you are a multi-hyphenate. You've already bridged that gap between singer and actor, and yet in the United States versus Billie Holiday,
if I give him my last nickel.
You won a Grammy, right? Yeah. A Golden Globe, nominated for an Oscar. Yes. In many ways, a career pinnacle, but it also damaged your voice, I read. Yeah. Tell me about that high-low.
I think in anything you do, if you really care about it and you're passionate about it, then you have to work hard at it, and there will be some sacrifices, And we really wanted the voice. I really wanted the gravel. She has so much gravel in her voice. There's so much breakup. So I knew going into it, I was like, all right, this is gonna incur a little bit of damage.
And you were like chain smoking.
Yeah, that was.
I guess that's what it gets to get to the gravel.
Yeah, listen, I will not say on camera that you have to smoke or you should smoke to do a role. I just wanted to get it, and I wanted it to be great.
And you're in another project now with Lee Daniels, a new film, a horror movie called The Deliverance, alongside Glenn Close, right, and Monique. Let's take a quick look.
Yes.
I'd have been dead if the Lord hadn't saved me. He saved me. He can save you.
Then tell him take the cancer out of your body, because I can't pay for it. No, get this off my wall.
Oh, man, going head-to-head with Glenn Close. My God. This is, not for the faint of heart. It is a true horror film. Tell me what it's like to, work with Glenn Close, work with Lee Daniels.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, working with Lee Daniels has just been an honor. I think there are very few people that can pull performances out of people the way that he does. And he has a vision. Working with Glenn was incredible. I mean, she's a legend. The kids that are my kids are legendary.
You mentioned the kids on set and your commitment to every role. I understand you temporarily tattooed the kids' names.
Listen.
And it's not so much temporary.
Where is it? Wait, how do I
see
get
it?
this?
I see it.
It's supposed to have faded completely right now. It is not faded yet, but it's getting there. Obviously Nate's, that's Caleb's name right there. That's Demi, that's AJ. It was supposed to have faded in 9 to 13 months, but that was April or May of 2022.
That's hilarious. And yet, the film, you play Ebony, a struggling single mother. battling generational trauma, addiction, and the devil, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
What made you, what drew you to this project, aside from Lee Daniels?
Yes, so that was obviously the primary draw. I love that it's based on a true story, because that's a lot, people miss that a lot. And I also just love, I really love Ebony. She's really trying to be the best mother she can be with all of her own generational trauma, her own unhealed pain, her own experiences that maybe she's never been able to talk about.
Let's talk about, you have another album, Cassandra.
Yes.
Which I realize is the longer version of your name, Andra.
For sure.
Why name it after your full name? What is that inspiration?
You know, I think, first of all, I've been working on this project for like almost 10 years now. I've had love gained, I've had love lost, I've made terrible mistakes, I've experienced pain, I've experienced great triumphs, you know, extreme highs and lows, and so I feel like I've become a lot of different people. But the truth is, it's Cassandra's journey. I'm on a journey from going from a place of feeling like an impersonator, feeling like I'm not enough, to a place of sustenance. So it just felt very all-encompassing.
It's such a pleasure. You're
Likewise.
so deeply human.
Thank
really
you. Thank you. I appreciate
lovely.
It. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
What a wonderful conversation. Our thanks to Juju Chang. The Deliverance streams August 30th on Netflix. And still to come, twisted, steamy, edgy, Tell Me Lies is back for another season. Our conversation with the stars of the show, who say there is still a whole lot more drama to come. That's coming up next.
GMA's surprise people across the country, helping find thousands in unclaimed money.
This really is a big check.
Yeah! And this summer, we're at it again. That's incredible. Because nothing's better than hearing you say,
Show me the money!
On Good Morning America.
If you were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the center of your cultural awareness. But for those of us experiencing it from the inside, the Brat Pack was something very different. If you could have the Brat Pack name not exist, would you? I hated the Brat Pack. What a disaster.
Why did we take it as an offense? Andrew?
I'm not going to say we were the Beatles or anything.
Well, we didn't fill Shea Stadium.
1985? I think we could have.
Kelsey Turner was a rising Insta model.
Kelsey definitely wanted to be famous.
She would do anything to get what she was due.
A beloved child psychiatrist, missing. An Instagram model, missing.
There was a body in the trunk, clean-cut guy. They don't normally end up beat to death in trunks of cars.
Sometimes we have to realize there's evil in this world.
Now, Friday night.
You're witness to a murder. So what happened next?
2020, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC. Now streaming on Hulu.
I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint. I'm John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi. The new special, what you have not yet seen. John Bon Jovi with Michael Strahan. Now streaming on Hulu. Nightline. The stories that shape your world, that shape your life. Dramatic, stunning, empowering, jaw-dropping. The most powerful stories of our time. Nightline, on right after Kimmel and streaming on Hulu. ABC News Live, honored with 8 Emmy nominations, more than any other streaming news network. And ABC News Live Prime with Linsey Davis, the first and only streaming show nominated for Best Outstanding Live News Program. This is ABC News Live.
It is time tonight for the latest in our series, Streamlined, where we bring you a look at the biggest films and TV series hitting screens worldwide. It's been called a cautionary tale of infatuation and attachment, and the next installment is about to drop. There it is, based on the novel by Carola Lovering. The first season of Hulu's Tell Me Lies followed Lucy Albright and her dysfunctional romance with master manipulator Stephen DeMarco as they navigate a web of lies throughout their formative college years. Now, season 2 is bringing us the next chapter so many have been waiting for. Let's take a look.
I just want to focus on school this semester, and I want to talk to you guys. Cool.
Lucy, I'm really sorry for hurting you so badly last year. I embarrassed you over and over again, and I'm sure that made you feel terrible about yourself.
You're right. I am so mad, and I know you probably love that, but I swear if you keep doing this, I will destroy your life.
Woo, that's intense, guys. Woo. I'm scared of you now. That is tough. Joining us now are the stars of Tell Me Lies, Grace Van Patten and Jackson White. Grace and Jackson, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Just saw a clip. What can we expect with season 2? There was so much to unpack in season 1. We're moving on. What can we expect?
Even more to unpack with this season. It's last season was a love story, and this season is definitely more of a war story, and Steve and Lucy are not together anymore, so it's a lot of how they are kind of unable to escape this toxic cycle that they're in.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah, they're dealing with the aftermath of really messing each other's lives up, and then it's going into the web of how it affects everyone around them, all their friends.
There are so many scenes in this that are just so intense. Yeah. Was anything challenging for you as you approached your character in some of these scenes? Were there any times where you were like, "This is really, really difficult"?
The whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
It's rough.
It's so much fun,
these characters are not very redeemable, so it's hard to justify their actions sometimes. But I really feel for them too. Or I feel for Lucy. I don't know if I feel. No, I feel for Steven. I feel for Steven.
I do.
I do.
Certainly do.
I do.
Outside of the show, in real life, you guys are a couple.
That's true.
Right? You guys are dating. So how does that work with the show? How do you play off of some of that tension?
It's amazing.
When you leave the set.
We had our first fight on camera.
Yeah,
it was great.
True. It's sick.
You got it out of the way.
We got it out of the way. Yeah.
It's cool. We get to bring a lot of freedom and safety, and like we get to do whatever we want with each other because there's so much trust.
So much safety, and yeah, it's so much easier to be vulnerable and be open and be mean to each other on camera because we've built such a safe, secure bubble.
And then you're screaming at each other at work. Or whatever, or manipulating each other at work, and then you go home and there's nothing left. You get to relax.
Yeah. Grace, you've called the show overall a cautionary tale about attachment, infatuation, lust.
Yeah.
Kind of explain that for us. Why call it that?
I think we like calling it that because it's really not glamorizing toxic relationships, which I really love about it. It's not making it seem exciting or fun or appealing. It's really a warning sign that you shouldn't be in a relationship like that, and that's wrong. And also, it's normal, and you shouldn't feel shame about it either, because it happens to the best of us, whether you're strong or you're weak. And so I think it's relatable in that way, and hopefully makes people feel okay that they've been in a situation like that, or encouraged to get out of it.
Yeah, showing them that they're not alone. They're not the only ones experiencing this.
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by. So excited about season 2. Best of luck to you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Make sure to watch season 2 of Hulu's Tell Me Lies. The first 2 episodes premiere September 4th. And that is our show for tonight. I'm Stephanie Ramos. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. And of course, you can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, on abcnews.com. Have a good one.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewis.